which is, our motto is, without no roots, there's no fruit.
Right.
So I just wanted to say once again, welcome back to the city, your home. And when I say it like that is because you have kind of set a template for us here in Toronto to kind of like follow. We were the ones who actually started the protests.
Yes, back when I got banned by
Much Music?
By Much Music.
I broke that story, bro.
Yeah, I know. You broke that story. Arrow helped save my life. And all your, your movement and your protests, and they didn't want us to even come in the country.
You sorry.
It's all right.
No, it's all good. We're all family here.
All family.
The unique thing I wanted to ask you, your first show at Concert Hall.
Yes.
Right? It was historical. I still have shots from that day and the whole works. What did you think when you actually got to Canada and see what was happening here as far as the culture is concerned?
Well, I'm only from New York, so knowing where you are in New York, you know it's a melting pot. You have friends who, especially a lot of people from the Caribbean. And back when I was growing up, friends from the Caribbean, it wasn't like an out and out thing. You know, people in the United States, in the New York area, they hid their Caribbean roots in the late 60s, early 70s. It was almost like, they would hide their accents. They'd be the smartest in the class. They wasn't maybe Americanized, like, kids that have all the, the exterior fly gear and all, and they would have whatever their parents could get them. Strong family connection, but it was more like keep it tucked under, hide it under, we don't want to be exposed, don't want to be made fun of and stuff like that. And then by the mid and late 70s, things became a little bit more confident. And I said New York is a place where, New York would be that place where it become more of a mix. Not necessarily places like Pittsburgh and Ohio where you got people that migrated from down south and they totally oblivious of the diaspora and culture and stuff like that. But I knew, being in the New York area, that when I would come to Canada, my family always would go to Montreal and Quebec to sometimes vacation.
Yes.
And that was a different dynamic makeup in Montreal and also Quebec. And also Detroit was closer to my other part of the family in Detroit. I mean, Toronto was close to Detroit.
Yeah.
So visiting family in Detroit, coming through Toronto a couple of times in the 80s, we're very aware, 70s, in the 80s, we're very aware at the migration that started to move into Toronto. Because in the 70s, it was like folks started to move from Jamaica to Toronto, and in the late 60s, started to move from Jamaica to Brooklyn, the Bronx. So my family was very aware of it, and also we had a great respect for our roots in the diaspora. So where people were Americanized and looked down at it, we would be like, oh man, we live in the same community, be you, man, and learn from each other. And I remember very clearly, it was like, it was funny in a different way. It's like when The Harder They Come out, Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy Cliff.
That gave people like, well, you ain't gonna pump me in class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. And it was like 73, 74. And then everybody in the United States started to understand Bob Marley more.
Yeah. One of the next questions I had was just real quick. We started a thing called Generation Next, which we actually put generation before next, right? Because everybody always say next generation, but we did it that way because we find that the majority of times right now that, I don't know in other cities, but Toronto they stifle their young. They kind of press them down. Do you have any words of encouragement for people who are looking to get into the arts and looking to get into like music itself, regardless if it's behind the scene, in front of the scenes? Because I find that when we started, we came in where we were adding on before we were able to take anything from it within the culture as just knowing somebody in high school just going, you rap.
Right.
I want to learn how to rap. These kind of things right now. How do you feel that we could help support the younger generation right now towards that?
I think the beautiful thing about Toronto and Black Canadians especially is that there is still the respect. I think when y'all have a festival, carnival, you know, that's a good way of still keeping the roots alive and say the past is the future. The elders accept the youth accept the elders with that line of culture. The fragmentation comes when people try to become Americanized and follow American culture. And American culture has been manipulated as a divide, purposely so. So whatever comes out there as popular culture, people don't look at the dynamic and say, yeah, this was put in there on purpose to divide, destroy not only the family and community, but it's put there on purpose to even have us as adversaries towards ourselves. Old to the young, young to the old, peer to the peer, stuff like that. Oh, you come up, so you come up, I hate that because I need to come up too. That type of stuff, you know? Those are Americanisms that have sprouted out of a plan, but when that gets too heavy for a person to try to process, it's like, oh man, what you talking about planning? You know, you don't have all day to tell them about this is where it come from. You have to also just pour like the great aspects into it, the great things. It's like, you know, a longevity factor if you want to have a song and spit about things. Why you think that something that has negativity is going to be more glamorous or more popular? It's going to be more popular because people say, well, damn, this is stuff I think I see all the time, and it seems to have results. So it's got to be, even if a bar or two is going to be like something like me pointing at you and like, get up out of my way, I'm going to diss you. And I'm like saying, okay, that's exciting maybe for a bar. It might be exciting all the way to a bar fight, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, they got to keep it replenished to stay alive because it's not what you call live energy. It's dead energy, man.
Yeah.
So the live energy, I think, has got to be a mixture of what the roots and the people and the joy and the happiness had and trying to figure out how to infuse certain things in the future. And that's only going to come from cultural people. It's going to come from the DJs.
Yeah.
How you come up with your blend and your mix of music, past, present, and future. And then what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for a head nod, or you are doing it for people to dance? In the United States, they say, you know what, we're not even going to have a dance. So if you're not dancing, they say, okay, the music got to what? It's got to give you a head nod. So if we give you a head nod, it's like, okay, what are you doing past the head nod? Are you doing like this? Okay, well, what's the next step of that? Well, if it's just that, okay, and in bars that got your excitement, there's one or two bars that, okay, can you process that? Or is it just, you know, what they call, you know, lyrical gymnastics for no fucking reason at all?
So now, growing in the industry, you got the DJ coalitions, which that's how we connected over the years. And during COVID, we did a lot of things to keep a lot of the music alive.
Yeah.
I broke records that nobody knew. Your album that dropped. We broke your album, and a lot of people didn't even know that surfaced before digital started to get back in. And that came out with...
Well, what they're going to do when the grid goes down now?
That was...
2020.
2020, yes. And it was funny watching a lot of people talk about hip-hop and all stuff, but no one was paying attention to it. No one was watching what you were doing. And
But you know, and not to cut you off, they don't pay attention to what they pay attention to.
perfect.
So you ask them like, all right, what was your top 5 last month? And you know, like, damn, like, what song stuck to you from 6 months ago that you can carry around on your hip now and say, I swear by this? Yo, so people are programmed their tastes. They're programmed what they're gonna like for the moment. If it don't stick around, it's like, it doesn't mean like, okay, man, it's not sticking around no more. They could, you know, it could be like junk food. You know, it's junk food ain't gonna stick and stay to you. They'll just keep giving you junk food. You know what I'm saying? You don't never really get, junk food, you never really get full. You get kind of like satisfied for the moment.
Just like Chinese food.
And you know what? Because people can make songs easy. No, I'm gonna talk for a while. You know, because you can make songs easy, Because I'm here all goddamn day.
That's cool.
You know, because you can make songs easy. It's like, all right, then we could keep making songs like till the fucking cows come home. If I give you 80 songs and I'm saying the same thing in 80 songs and I'm just going in circles and shit like that and I just keep heating that fucking sugar note, it's like sugar, man.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Sugar, I can hit you with sugar all the time and you're gonna fiend for it. So that's a reality just even in sonics. It's like, yo, so what makes this song different from that song? And you waiting for a guy to give you an explanation. What makes it different?
Well, see, even now, what you guys have done in the past of keeping rock alive with hip hop, and now people are using hip hop again now to try and bring it back.
I think one of the problems is, and I'm talking about problem talker, is that people don't understand, and this is a United States thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Yo, son, for real? The world fucking me up, right? And I ask people like, so where have you been in the world, dog? I'm just saying though. I'm just
saying though.
I'm saying though, give me an answer, dog. Okay. I ain't gotta be around the world to feel that the world's a problem. I'm like, so you get into that conversation and that is the beginning of you diagnosing what the music can probably do and what the music probably cannot do at this moment. Because it's like, if the world is getting you down and you ain't been in the world, that means you can release music out there, and suppose I say, well, Addis Ababa is actually having this song that I did, and it's zooming out there, right? But if you don't know where it is, you be like, well, what the fuck, I ain't over there, man. I don't hear shit from you, dog. But yeah, but bro, it's 215 countries out there. This is why it's the World Wide Web. So when you as a DJ, do you only look at who's following you, or do you look at, like, it's almost like when you put something in outer space, right? In the outer space, they put the what? The James, what's it called? The James telescope up there, all right? And the Hubble telescope, and also the Voyager probes. They don't know where that shit's gonna end up, and they don't know what it's doing, but at the same time, they got some monitoring on it, and they say, well, this is the data we receive. When you put art out there and music out there, you kind of like really don't know where it's going or supposed to go. At the end of the day, and I tell them as artists too, I said, just do your art, because don't worry about who's not following you. Worry about who's following you. You spend all your time, I got 30 followers, but why are you mad? Because I should have 100. Because 100 people, but I only got 30. I say, well, count to 30. Make your 30 100 in your duty, and don't worry about the 70, because that's what businesses do. That's what the weather does. The weather is like, okay, the weather is, but we don't have a thunderstorm. The fuck? Well, I want me to have a thunderstorm. I want to know what the weather is right now, dog. So it's the same thing in music. You making music, you got to pay attention to the one. Where's Gary at?
Right here.
Put up the one, man. Put up the one. You gotta pay attention to the one. So because one person at a time. This whole thing is like how many followers you got?
I got 9,000.
Got 9,000
on Instagram, but on total networks, I got over 1 million between all my networks, and I'm on over 30 different platforms.
Oh yeah. Do they follow you or they follow the
They follow the music.
They follow
because I have my own app.
There you go.
See, that's why Nerd DJs and like with the app, we started the generation of that because we've had our own app for 12 years.
There you go.
See, people just jumped on it now. Like I could stream right now to my app if I wanted.
Right.
See, a lot of people don't know that aspect of the app because the app is another, like you said earlier, you have to have your own networks. So we turned around and I joined up with United Music Mafia. We built our own streaming platform because everybody was on Clubhouse. And I heard you on Clubhouse when you guys were talking about why don't we own our own things? Why don't we have our own stuff? And then 5 guys I joined up with when did it? And they made a YouTube platform, Facebook type style called USlade. Another was Ustreaming Mafia, and then then we have Next Level DJs and Nerve DJs, and everybody coincided together. So all the coalitions work together. So we have over 20,000+ DJs.
You make your charts?
Oh yes.
And let me tell you why the reason charts are important. Because people are going to read quicker than they hear. And they might not have I don't have 15 minutes to listen to a set. Some people might say, okay, I'm gonna spend this hour listening to a DJ do their thing. But what they will see and what they will accomplish in a matter of 30 seconds if they read your chart.
Well, you see, now
That's the
you
same
can't
thing.
just be a DJ. You can't just be an artist. So I decided to be an artist, DJ, podcaster.
Yeah.
So you go on iTunes, you get my music, you get my podcast, you get my app.
Right.
Simple things. Spotify, the same thing. But a lot of people don't seem to understand the evolution of digital.
Do you count them?
Oh, yes. And I do monetization, analytic.
No, I said, do you count the people that seem to don't understand?
No, not really. See, you can't count that many people.
So the way how we are right now between me and him joined together as a team, I won Just Ho's Mixtape Award in 2003. And there's a difference between the States and Canada. The States to me is the body. Canada is like an arm. Right? And when I say it like that, because most of the decisions are made on that side. Because I used to report for Hits Magazine. We've been doing...
Do you think that's fair?
Actually,
If you had to say the States is the body, then what's London?
London might be the head sometimes. Might be the head
You see, but the
sometimes.
thing is, what he's saying is right
Yeah.
though, because the UK, and when it comes down to breaking a Canadian artist, they'll
Yeah.
blow up in the UK before they blow up in the States.
That's right.
Reggae artists, all the different aspects of that. Same thing with Public Enemy. They did
Because
better in
that's
the
how
UK
we
than
heard
they did in
about
the
it.
States.
Public Enemy blew up in London.
Yeah.
And,
We never blew up in the United States.
and
I mean, we did,
Later.
but London first.
Westwood, I heard you on. I heard you on Westwood. We
Canada.
chopped it up when he came, and
Westwood was not. He wasn't there in the first two inclinations. So we blew up London from a bunch of different vantage points before anybody even went over there. You know, they had the '86 tour, and Schoolie went over there and stuff like. But they kind of went in there and kind of like, okay. But we came in there with the 1987 Def Jam tour, LL, Eric B. Rakim. It was really the first time that we coming down there to put the hammer down. But we were new in '87, and Eric B. and Rakim, they had, matter of fact, I got called Eric B. later on. They had '86, '87, and then of course, you know, LL was 84, 85, 86, 87. So they were our seniors going over there. So, and through press, that's why I say all this is important, and even when they try to move you and all, they move the thing along. The Obama show came out, I concentrated interviews and all my attention at London while we was on tour in the States. May, June, July, August, September, October, and then went over there in November and tore shit up. But you know, we set it up for 6 months while everybody was like, hey, London, who the fuck goes over there? You know,
Yeah.
so it's about grabbing your territory. Same thing with DJs and artists today. If you trying to be the, you know, like the 500th spitting artist trying to make it in the city of Chicago, you know, and you say, you know what, I ain't gonna try to spend my time in LA or New York, but these places
might
where
be
could you go
feeling
to
you
work?
first.
You see,
more than
but you see,
anywhere
like,
else.
with that note, I had a billboard go up in Chicago in February, and I could get I have another one going up in Times Square soon. But just by putting up that billboard in Chicago, caused such a rift with certain people because they couldn't believe a Canadian DJ got his felt on a billboard.
Well, that was a good move.
But yeah, it was
It's a
a wicked
power
move.
And it was electronic billboard?
Yeah, I don't know. It was electronic. Yeah, but the whole thing
That's
is
dope, because that opened up, because in the past,
Right.
a billboard would have to
They'll
stay
stay
there
there for
and do
that
that. But
thing.
now you can move on there and buy your time in there, so that's good.
and then people don't understand the power of that now,
Yeah.
especially with advertising. A lot of people lose aspects as digital happened, that they forget about the footwork, the flyers,
Yeah.
we released the vinyl. People don't realize what a vinyl really aspects. So it's like, and since Fear of the Black Light and the stuff that you've done, like since I was growing up, I remember going to school with the t-shirt on and the teacher telling me how to wear it. You know, I was like, I remember, and I grew up in Winnipeg, so it's like, I grew up in a very similar area.
You know that.
Yeah, I was
term.
like,
That's
and I remember that time when you guys came down and Flavor Flav like snuck underneath and popped up on the stage with you. And when I was the one that threw the weed up to it.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's like when you like just
Who's the group out
We got one more of that.
Okay, well, what was the group out? Was it Mood?
Mood Ruff.
Mood Ruff.
Yes,
Right.
Mood
I
Ruff.
played them on. It was one of my first groups I played on my rap station. Now rap station been around 13 years, but no, 20 years and 13 years of Eddie Don't Stop. I played Mood Ruff.
Well, now
Clips from Hip Hop Homage said to salute.
Oh yeah.
Because I told him I was gonna come chop it up with you at the same time, and I know you gotta go and all that.
we appreciate it, and I'm glad Johnny O got
Glad
to
we was able to, yeah.
Well, I've talked to you on conference calls for years.
I know,
It's a chance
I know.
to get to see you.
I know,
So
I'm
I
glad.
appreciate it.
I'm
And
glad.
I'm really happy. Hey, I had to make a call to states to get it, so that's
Oh, you know what? I mean, but you got my information
Yeah.
now.
Oh, I got everything
Okay,
now.
all right, you know what I'm saying? So just, and we have Rap Station, which we think is probably the greatest internet work on the planet Earth. It's 10 station channels, and we really concentrate on Planet Earth, Planet Rap, which is its only station, show, and segment in the hip hop world
Well-
that concentrate on the hip